The FA Challenge Cup, everyone wants to win.
Crazy gang have beaten the Culture Club. Gerrard! Oh yes! The story of the FA Cup continues.
There's a red sky at night over Wembley.
He saved it and made history. What a goal! Ragnar the scorer. It's deviates Ragnar. One of the great cut shots of all time. Fantastic run. And the shot result is on.
Would you believe it?
This is the moment of joy that all professional footballers hope
A
for.
moment of treasure. Manchester City, FA Cup winners. Good evening, welcome to Eltham in the Royal Borough of Greenwich for a very special FA Cup first round replay as Cray Valley Paper Mills of the 8th tier take on Charlton Athletic of League One. 10 days ago, these two sides met in the first game and the Cray Valley Paper Mills fans will always remember the 5th of November.
It is Valley at the Valley. The Millers aim to scale a mountain in terms of the football pyramid. 117 places separate the sides. Ball through here, what a chance! And surely 1-0 Charlton. Scott Fraser. Wolf given away badly. Tedic, good save. And that should have been 2-0. Chem Campbell arriving. Is Lisby. That's a good ball, it's in! Kyrell Lisby with a big hand in a leveller for the Millers at the Valley. Lovely pass, it's Kirk. It's a big save. It's Adam Coombs, it's on target. A happy Valley for Valley. They have held them to a draw. They will take their League One opponents to a replay.
More divisions than miles separate these two sides, just 2.5 miles as the crow flies. The average attendance here at the Arctic Stadium is just 150, but tonight 1,500 fans are in and it is a sellout. And you know, it's a long way from League One to the Isthmian League Southeast Division. Cray Valley Paper Mills, 116 places below Charlton Athletic in the football pyramid. And this could be officially the biggest shock in terms of league positions of all time in the FA Cup. We are so glad to be here, so happy you are watching at home as well. Kevin Lisby and Danny Murphy alongside me as well. And we've had to dust off the tapes to show them this as well, because of course they were teammates at Charlton Athletic. That's a baggy shirt, that, Dan.
Long time ago, that, Jace. Don't even be able to kick it that far anymore.
Good delivery,
days.
good ball
days.
in that, Kev, eh?
Yeah, the gaffer told him to put in the area, and that's what he did, and I did the rest. So
Fantastic. It's great to see you, fellas. Thank you very much indeed for being here. But Danny, when you look around, this is the magic of the cup, right?
It is indeed. It takes me back. I mean, I started out in the old 4th division for Crewe, and we had non-league games away in the cup. And even when I was playing Liverpool, Charlton, you go down to the lower leagues, and it's where you have to prove yourself. It's where you have to show the lesser level teams that why you are where you are. And Charlton have got a point to prove tonight because they didn't expect to not get through in the first game. So fascinated to see how it goes.
Yeah, Kevin, great to see you. And I tell you something, listening and talking to some of the fans here for Cray Valley Paper Mills, they fancy this tonight.
yeah, why not? I mean, they went to the Valley with a good Charlton team, and they gave a good performance, and they came out of a draw. So, I mean, before the whistle was kicked, they would have loved to come back here and take Charlton here and see what they could do, and that's what they've done.
It's a great night for you because obviously your boy Kyrell plays for Cray Valley Paper Mills and set up the equaliser as well. What was that like for you as a proud dad?
Yeah, I mean, for me and the club to see him, I know he was eager to put a good performance on and have an impact in the game, and I think this was his moment. We always talk about moments in the game.
Bit quicker than you, Coach.
Don't say
You
that.
knew it was coming.
We've had that argument all the time. So, look, you just want to have influence and impacts on games, and I think that's what he did that day.
But the belief they had, especially in the second half, Danny, that Cray Valley Paper Mills showed just to hang on in there.
Well, I think when you get into the second half of the game, you know you're in it. the belief does grow and your confidence grows and you start expressing yourself more. And those players have got a wonderful opportunity tonight to show the world how good they are, because you never know who's watching. Yeah. And there's always people looking at getting bargains and taking players and trying to go up the level. So it's a wonderful opportunity for the lads at Cray Valley tonight.
Your boy was devastated because he came off, of course, as well. How's he feeling about today?
Yeah, I mean, he played the weekend, he got 2 goals, which was good for him. But listen, he just wanted to have an influence on the game. He was desperate to score and do well. Just a bit disappointed that he had to come off.
These are the goals from Saturday. So he scored 2 on Saturday, Danny, so his confidence will be high.
Yeah, and actually, you know, in front of the cameras tonight, what an amazing time for him to go and score again. But when you're a goal scorer and you're regularly putting the ball in the net, it does give you confidence. And he's going to have to express himself tonight. It's going to be a bit tougher. So it looks like Charlton have brought a few of the first team lads back because they're giving him a bit more respect. So he's going to have to work that a little bit harder. But wonderful opportunity for all of them.
And there they are, the lads. They were out warming up just as we were getting ready to come on air here on Match of the Day Live as well. Will he be bothered his old man is live on the telly tonight?
I don't think he'll care. Hopefully he doesn't care. Hopefully he just goes and does what he needs to do, because it's about him today and not me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But also there is that belief they can cause a shock here tonight.
Yeah, of course. I think as Danny said, like you go into the game with a bit of hesitation, and then as the game goes on and it grows, you realise actually we're in this and we've got an opportunity of creating an upset, which I think they did that day.
Danny, can I just ask you about Michael Appleton making those 11 changes for the first game? Because some Charlton Athletic fans might be thinking, hang on a minute, we shouldn't be here tonight.
Yeah, I think 11 changes at any levels is hard. There's no cohesion, you know, no chemistry. You want to build up some partnerships, and bringing 11 in who are all trying to prove a point, you lose that cohesion. I think he admitted, didn't he, after it was probably not the right thing to do, and the performance showed. But let's not take away from Cray Valley's level of performance. I mean, Charlton's second 11 should still be a decent side, and they matched them. So yeah, we'll see a stronger Charlton tonight and a much bigger test for the Cray Valley lads.
Okay, boys, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Let's hear from the managers. They've been talking to Mark Scott.
Steve, you've decided to go with the same starting 11 from the game at the Valley. Was that a tough decision for you?
Yeah, like I said in the first interview with you at the Valley, Mark, I can't please everybody. We've got to pick 11 to start, and hopefully the ones that come on will make a big impact. And the boys are all together, so there'll be disappointment in there, the ones that aren't starting, but they'll back the ones that are starting.
And I know that you've said that bar the first 15 minutes, the performance at the Valley was bang on. You're looking for exactly the same type of game plan today?
Yeah, definitely, and without giving too much away, I saw a lot of results last night in the FA Cup, and lots of goals were scored in the first 10 minutes, and we need to stop that happening to us like we did at the Valley, because it could be a tough night if we let that happen. So we're going to be compact, we're going to make sure that we're hard to beat, and then we're going to express ourselves when the time's right.
What did you learn from the first game against Valley?
I mean, they're going to be very difficult to break down if they drop into that sort of low block and defend really well, and they were disciplined on the night, and obviously on the break they've got a little bit of pace in the wide areas that we need to be aware of. So yeah, we know the task in hand. We just make sure we stay professional and do it properly.
Obviously the big difference is tonight you've got home advantage.
Yeah, small little ground, small little pitch, fans close to the pitch, noisy. We hope we give Charlton hell, to be honest with you, because we don't have an easy night. Don't want them to have an easy night, I beg your pardon.
Well, we're looking forward to it as well. Let's take a closer look at some of the players. And Cray's midfield engine room, Danny, outstanding in the first game. Sonny Black and Hassan Ibrahim.
Yeah, well, it was a fantastic performance from the pair of them in midfield that gave them the energy and the heartbeat to produce such a good performance. This is early in the game, getting forward, trying to impact the game.
Yeah,
you know, make a difference. Look at the strength of Ibrahim, and he's piling forward, and again, good decision making, when to make the right pass, looking for the options, taking his time. And it's a good ball, and they look like two players who were above the level they were at, if I'm honest. And I think as the game went on, we talked earlier, didn't we, about growing in confidence. Can I go and impact the game, score a goal? Black gets in there, we can see, doesn't quite get hold of it. And when it comes out to Ibrahim here, you can see the confidence and the skill. He's not panicking. He's not overawed by any means of any stretch of the imagination. Great bit of skill here, and out they go again. And I know, Kev, you were impressed with them, weren't you?
Yeah, I've been impressed with those two all season. This isn't a one-off game for them. I've watched them play all season. Look at this ball here. He waits time in the
Lovely ball, that.
Yeah. He waits when the defender's planting his feet, and he slips it in behind him. It's a great ball, and as Dan said, it was a great game for both of them.
And this is what you want to see, isn't it? Danny smiling before the game, getting ready for...
Trying to enjoy it.
Big one, yeah.
Without, sometimes you can let the nerves affect you physically. 100%. We've all been there, haven't we, Kevin? Games where the nerves kick in, the cameras, first time you properly play in front of the telly, mate, on the telly against a higher opposition. Don't let it drain you. Embrace it. Use it to energise you and start off the game well.
Miles Leeburn came on in the first game at the Valley, son of Carl, of course.
Yep.
And he looked a different class as well when he came on, didn't he?
Yeah, he starts today, which is quite worrying. I've watched Miles play quite a few times, and he's got a quality about him. He's direct. He wants to score goals. You see here, all he's thinking about is can he get a shot off. That's all. He's 3 people around him, and he gets that half a yard, and it's a good strike, and the keeper has to make a good save. And here you can see he's ready. He's on his toes. He swivels, and he gets a shot off. So he's looking to score goals all the time. That's his thing.
Yeah,
he looked confident,
physical as well.
Yeah, but he looked confident in his own ability. Some of the little tricks, and he's not scared of taking risks and making things happen. He tries to see the right pass there. He looks a real handful. No surprise that he's starting tonight.
No. I think with him starting today, I think that's clear intention that they've come here and they're looking to win this game.
Yeah, and Danny, you know, you've been in this situation many times, and you've both played in cup games as well. How important is it that Charlton Athletic get off to a good start, get on the front foot?
It's important you show your class early on and let the opposite, whoever you're up against, know why you're at the level you are. And ultimately, you're trying to gain some confidence, momentum for the season. Get the fans on board. A cup run is a great way at any level to keep everybody at it and keep everybody enjoying the season, because Charlton haven't had the best start to the season. Yeah. The manager's fairly new in the position, so it's a huge game for Charlton, one they can't slip up in.
Yeah, and you were in the away end, of course, at the Valley. What was that like?
Yeah, it was must. I was still,
you can't remember.
I was still trying to decide which end I should be sitting at. But yeah, I actually sat with my family and friends, and it was a great occasion. The energy was terrific, and especially when that goal goes in, it was a great day.
And you know some of the boys as well. And obviously, you know your boy as well. How will they be feeling in that tunnel?
Yeah, I've spoken to a few of them on Saturday, and as Dan said, he just say enjoy the occasion. There's no way you can play if you don't enjoy it. So I think they'll be looking forward to it, and hopefully they'll go out and give a good account of themselves.
Do you know what's lovely as well about this? I was chatting to a few fans as well, Danny. There's a couple of fans who support other clubs in the Championship as well, who have come down, and in the Premier League as well, come down to support on Cray Valley.
Everybody loves the FA Cup, though.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a giant killer and a fairy tale story, and let's be honest, if they were to win, that's exactly what it would be.
Yep, here come the team then. Danny, Kev, enjoy it. Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy it wherever you're watching us here on Match of the Day Live, BBC 2, FA Cup first round replay, magnificent occasion. Let's hand you to our commentary team of Matty Upson and Mark Scott.
Thanks, Jason. Evening, everyone. Well, this really is what the FA Cup is all about. A team from the 8th tier playing their first ever home game in the competition proper in front of their biggest ever crowd. And it comes against the former winner of the most famous cup competition in the world as well. 5 leagues and 116 places separate the sides in the football pyramid. The numbers say Cray Valley Paper Mills should have no chance. But the first meeting proved the old adage that the game isn't played on paper. Well, he says that he hopes that they give Charlton Athletic hell tonight. They certainly gave them a real game at the Valley, and they have the belief that they can get the job done here tonight on what is the biggest ever night that they have had at this stadium. Turning to the team sheets then, and it is the same Miller's starting lineup from the Valley, although Steve McKim says that all 4 that came in to start at the weekend and those that came off the bench in the victory here over Erith and Belvedere gave him a real selection dilemma. Amongst those who did come in and do well on Saturday is Kiki Oshilaja, who was suspended for the original tie. Adam Coombs has been struggling with a calf problem but is on the bench. Having made 11 changes in the original tie, Michael Appleton has picked his big guns tonight, with starts for May, Blackett-Taylor, Leeburn and Captain Dobson. Alfie May has scored 8 goals in his last 7 starts. He's the League One top scorer with 12 goals, and he's faced Cray Valley Paper Mills before, scoring 3 times against them while playing for Erith and Belvedere in the 2014-15 season. Michael Appleton then with all of his strongest players on show, a sign of respect for what they managed in the first leg, Steve McKim's side.
And it's a big night for him again. Carell Lisby had a big impact in that first game with the assist. 15 goals this season. They've got a real high amount of goals across the front line. They can be a threat, Cray Valley Paper Mills for sure. And from one top scorer to another, Alfie May, Charlton taking no chances this evening. They cannot afford to. He's in sparkling form in League One. He's going to be a real threat as well. Maybe coming in off the right-hand side this evening.
The experienced referee, Charles Breakspear, is the man in the middle. He's taking charge of his 14th game this season. Well, ever since that draw at the Valley, the anticipation has been palpable, and now the moment is here. It will be Charlton Athletic in the red shirts to get us underway, kicking from left to right. The biggest match in Cray Valley Paper Mills' 104-year history. And if they win, it would be the biggest ever upset in terms of places in the football pyramid in FA Cup history. And Steve McKim says they'll have the same approach tonight that they did in the first instalment, as bar the opening quarter of an hour, it went just the way he wanted it to. Looking for the early run of Blackett-Taylor, one of those first-team regulars that is in the team for Michael Appleton this evening.
Well, early signs that pitch is playing OK at the moment. I think that's always an interesting feature when you come to this kind of stadium. Very different for the Charlton players, but it's actually not in bad nick. Maybe cutting up a tiny little bit. We've had a fair bit of rain, but it's quite flat. I think you'll be able to see both teams move the ball quite quickly across the surface.
Yeah, and credit has to go to the groundsman, Lee Higgins, who apparently was straight on his tractor after Saturday's game here. And 9 times out of 10, this playing surface is always immaculate, according to the manager as well. And it is in pretty good nick when you think about the weather that we've had in London in recent days.
Well, it will suit Cray Valley as well, because they got the ball down on a couple of occasions. They've got a couple of midfield players in Black and Ibrahim who like to have the ball, can make clever passes as well.
Here's Asimwe. Now McGrandles. Oh, referee said that was firm but fair, and it's going to be a goal kick for Cray Valley Paper Mills, and the home fans enjoyed that.
It's a shame about the slip. It was actually a really good first touch from McGrandles. Not an easy ball to take in your stride, and just as we were complimenting the pitch there, it looked like he lost his footing a little bit.
Spoke to Steve McKim while he was waiting to collect a customer in his Hackney carriage yesterday. He told me their cup final was that game at the Valley. It'll be pretty much the same approach from that game tonight, as aside from the first 15 minutes when Charlton had a fair bit of joy on the right-hand side. He was very pleased with the way they played, especially the concentration levels right the way through until the end. Bit of pressure on Lucas Ness, the man who scored the unfortunate own goal at the Valley 10 days ago. Sam Walker, the goalkeeper who made his debut for the club in that game, looked a little bit suspect at times, didn't he?
A little bit shaky, maybe a couple of times in possession. Certainly in these kind of areas, I think you'll see a few more decisions like that, where maybe you'll just opt to go long. Cray Valley, you'd expect, will probably play a little bit higher and try and apply a little bit more pressure than what they did at the Valley.
Here's Fraser, who scored that goal at the Valley. Blackett-Taylor. Held up by Williams.
A couple of slips, hasn't there?
Well, he did say that the pitch was playing a bit heavy in the game here against Erith and Belvedere at the weekend, but they were doing a pretty good job of getting it into good shape for this evening. But there's just so many matches that are played, given the amount of fixtures that they have, and part of that's down to the success that they've had in a couple of cup competitions, as well as all the league games they have to play. Kyril Lisby took it nicely. May on his shoulder. Kyril Lisby, though, is away from him. Angles against him. Oh. And he saw his name in lights, but then absolutely duffed it.
Well, that's the threat that they carry. That real raw pace. Love the decision-making from Kyril Lisby. Saw the space and just went in there, hoped the ball would get played in. You see that bobble there. Really difficult to keep that under control. Gets his head up. Wants to just dink that into the box, but it just strikes his standing foot, but got the wrong side of May there and was really aggressive with his first touch. I like the way he tried to get across him into the box.
In stark contrast to how he played here at the weekend. Scored a couple of goals, the second of which was a super strike. Took him on to 15 goals already this season for Kyril Lisby. Now, here's Miles Leeburn. We do have Leeburn against Lisby in this fixture after they both played in the first game but weren't on the pitch at the same time. Asimwe. Fraser back for Dobson. Such a key player for them, Dobson. Here's Asimwe now. And it won't be a corner. Again, the pitch just playing a part in that. Asimwe will recycle. McGrandles. Now they'll look to attack at pace here, especially out wide. That is how Steve McKim likes to get his team playing. And look at Williams on the far side as well from fullback. Cleverly done. Ademoului will get there. They've worked that nicely. And they haven't got themselves a free kick.
Well, he wanted the foul, didn't he? Felt the contact, went down probably a little bit too easy, right in front of the linesman.
Leeburn. May, not the touch he was hoping for. Lisby away from Asimwe. Now Tumkaya. Ibrahim.
I don't think either team are looking to take too many risks in that central area. Any kind of crossfield pass, it's quite difficult to get hold of the ball. I think there'll be a fair few played down the channel this evening.
Parker will chase this down, putting the squeeze on Lucas Ness, who manages to guide it back to Sam Walker. Sort of game you'd have liked to have been involved in?
Absolutely. Loved the FA Cup as a player. Really enjoyed it. It's only when you retire you realise how special it is.
May, lovely touch from him. It's Alfie May. Danger here. May goes for it. Smart save from Freeman. But just a glimpse there of what Alfie May is all about.
He's going to operate out on this right-hand side. It's pretty clear. I mean, he's probably got free licence to drift wherever he wants to, but it's a brilliant first touch. Just sucks it in, and then the angle's quite tight. He's got to hit a really good shot to that far post to beat Freeman, who was in very good form at the Valley, as to be said. He had a great night, the goalkeeper.
Walker gets good distance on that. Tumkaya rising. Helped on by Black. That's a proper havoc clearance from Arthur Lee, the skipper. And that is a free kick for the challenge on Freddie Parker.
It's quite clever from Parker there. Uses his body well, just draws the contact. It just stands on the back of his boot. Jones just catches him, but good centre-forward play. He had quite a lone job in that first game, didn't he? Leading that line, Parker. Worked really hard, but didn't get too much of the ball. I think he'll probably be feeling he can feature a bit more this evening at home.
Wonder if he's got another special celebration up his sleeve after that pint-drinking one earlier on in the Cup. Lee, nice idea. Didn't quite have enough oomph on it to truly trouble Sam Walker. Blackett-Taylor. Good covering by Ademoului. That's a key aspect as well of the team under Steve McKim. He likes his wingers to have pace and get forwards, but they have to be prepared to get back and also aid the defence. Adamalouis doing just that. McGrandles. Dobson. Eden. He's been someone that has caught the eye recently in terms of getting forwards well from fullback Theo Eden. Made on an assist in the 2-2 draw against Portsmouth at the weekend. Good result that was for Charlton, although they had to weather a fair amount of pressure from the League One leaders.
They've got a nice balance on that left-hand side, haven't they? Blackett-Taylor wanting to come inside on his right foot, allows the left-back to get around the outside, like you mentioned, in support and get in advanced positions.
Parker, tidied up by Eden. And again, belted forwards by Sam Walker. Jones. Ness. McGrandles. Now a Simway. Alfie May with the intelligent run. Lisby couldn't quite get there. May still going. Well, they doubled up on him and it did the job in the end. Alfie May just starting to find a few pockets.
Yeah, it's quite frantic though, isn't it? The pressure and the press coming from Cray Valley. There's a lot of energy being spent in these opening minutes.
Dobson. Asimwe. Deflection might work out for Charlton. McGrandles. Asimwe. Teasing ball. And Tumkaya underneath it. It's a little bit risky by Adamalouis, but they got away with it. Picked up now by Lloyd Jones. Run away from McGrandles there. Not sure he was going to blame the turf for it. Lisby then went to ground.
I think it's more the slipping that's the problem, isn't it? I think the players are finding it quite soft underfoot. The surface is relatively flat. But
can't blame the surface for that pass.
You can't. You can't. That was definitely not down to the pitch. But I think they're going to have to be careful how quickly they change direction. They're going to lose their footing. We've seen it, what, 4 or 5 times already in the opening 11 minutes or so.
Dobson. Ibrahim. He's going to bring it back for the earlier challenge.
That's good midfield play from Ibrahim. Quick into the tackle, then looking to get forwards. I really think they're the key. Black and Ibrahim in the midfield, that kind of tenacious midfield play to win the ball back and then want to drive forwards for his team.
Williams will take the free kick. Keeper decides to stay. Tumkaya got up and got the final touch, but it comes to nothing. Well, the Paper Mills match secretary, David Carter, told me that it's been quite an experience getting this ground ready. They've had to employ 30 stewards. The most they've ever had before is 3, as well as putting in portaloos, food vans and signage. And ironically, it's the first match they've ever had to print paper tickets for. You would have thought they'd be well stocked, but he said that Charlton have helped them out on that front. Not saying anything, Matt.
I'm speechless.
Could write it down.
Is this going to go on all evening?
We'll see. He said nothing would change in terms of their approach, and nothing ever changes in terms of their shape for Cray Valley Paper Mills. 4-3-3 all the way, all the players well drilled, and all of them have similar attributes and talent so that they can all slot in as the four that started at the weekend did. Says that he likes his defenders to defend first before they try and play it. Can think of someone who was a bit like that?
I can't. Can't think who would spring to mind with that kind of attribute.
May. Nicely done. It's a good challenge by Jemton Carr. It was a tough choice for the manager as to who was going to partner the skipper, Arthur Lee, in the middle, with the fact that Oshilaja was back from suspension.
You know, he doesn't need to make that comment, really. You just got to watch his team play. You can tell. It's how they play as a team. I think it's impressive. If Charlton thought they were going to turn up here, put their foot on the ball and stroke it around, I think they'll be horribly surprised, because his team really do want to get after Charlton, and they're showing that in the start of this game. They do defend well. They work together, especially those wide areas. The throw-in taker here, Williams, gets all over the pitch, puts his foot in. This is a tough evening for Charlton.
Well, he was pretty scathing about the players that did start the first game. Michael Appleton says that they weren't good enough. There's no doubt about that, but he took full responsibility as he picked the team, and clearly it was the wrong one. There's a bit of surprise amongst Charlton fans at the 11 changes, and a bit of stick that came his way after the disappointing outcome as well.
Yeah, every fan loves the FA Cup, don't they? And I think when you field a team that's that changed, you do leave yourself open for criticism.
Eden. Now, Blackett-Taylor. Simway trying to get there, and he does get there. Alfie May wants it and goes for it. Decent save that. Powerful, but straight at Sam Freeman, who fists it clear.
Well, you can clearly see what is in Alfie May's mind this evening. He's not going to wait to be invited to have an effort on goal. Very instinctive there. First time, strikes it clean.
Fraser's ball in. Dobson. Worked out for a Simway. Simway's ball towards May, won't reach him. That's going to be a free kick for the challenge by George Dobson.
Yeah, it's a really mistimed challenge, that from Dobson. Really kind of butts in the back of Ibrahim's head as he's backpedaling to stretch and head that ball away. Clearly gets there first and gets a real bang in the back of the head. This is the chance for May moments ago. Work it on the left-hand side, the cross comes in, and it's just how quickly he takes this chance. There's no other thought in his head but setting his feet to get that shot off. But Freeman again equal to it.
He was signed as a striker, but has done well as a number 10. The view is that he can play as that sort of number 9, but also when he operates in the pocket, he's better with a foil playing just off a front man.
Yeah, I was chatting to Kevin Lisby before, and he was saying that he's always seen him play centrally. He's not seen him play out wide a lot on the right-hand side. He either plays at number 10 or as a number 9, and Miles Leeburn plays out wide sometimes. They really do mix it up along that front three. Blackett-Taylor generally hugs that left-hand side, but the other two tend to switch it up a little bit.
Blackett-Taylor and Dobson's contracts both run out at the end of this season. There's a bit of anxiety amongst the Addicks fans about whether they will be able to keep them or not. Michael Appleton said this week that there's no more news on that front. They are two of the standout performers for his side.
They need to put pen to paper, don't they?
Just a bit jealous that you came out with that. Ibrahim over the free kick. Lee the target, won't reach him. Weigell's in there. Simway. Couldn't take it off Kyrell Lisby. He's going the long way round. Black, Weigell. Sonny Black. Weigell. Asadu, that's to no one in particular. Lee comes across, Leeburn is there.
That's the pressure there, isn't it? I mean, there's just no doubt. It's full steam ahead in those wide areas. The ball gets played to the fullback. Either wide player, whether it be Lisby or Adam Ilui, are just herring after the ball to get that block tackle in. It's impressive if they can keep this pace up, Cray Valley.
He says that those wide players have to close down. The central midfielders need to anticipate and get in positions rather, to break up possession. Luckett Taylor nearly threaded the eye of the needle there. Ness. Alfie May! And again, Freeman's in the way. May, side netting. Goal kick as well. He asked for a corner, but Cray Valley Paper Mills might be asking for trouble if he keeps getting that much room.
Yeah, he's finding some space, isn't he? Just indicates he wants that ball in behind. The body shape, Asadeo, it's not quite good enough, not ready for the ball to go in there. It's a good pass from Dobson, though. Just the right weight on the full-time volley.
Bygor sends it forwards. Parker almost got there. Well, there's no VAR, so they won't be able to run that back and check. Parker's not sure that he should have been penalised there, and you're not either.
I'm not too sure. It looked like a bit of a grapple for the ball, whether or not he grabs hold of a bit of shirt. Referee clearly wasn't happy with something. He's obviously the wrong side here. But then whether or not he really does impede there, I'm not too sure he does. I think that's a soft free kick, that.
Jones forwards. And here is Luckett Taylor. And that's a no-nonsense challenge from Williams, and Eden has then stepped in and he's been penalised.
Williams taken off where he left off.
You liked the look of him in the first game, didn't you?
I did. He was no nonsense. Very much like that challenge.
Had over 70 appearances in the National League prior to joining Cray Valley Paper Mills. He's been to the second round of the Cup on a couple of occasions before as well, Barney Williams. Freeman fires forwards. He's been the busier of the two keepers so far, but approaching the midway point in the half, and still all square. Asimwe. May. Ness.
Yeah, possession stats as you'd expect there. Charlton always going to have more of the ball, even on this pitch and this surface. It's all about the intensity in that press, or what kind of area can Cray Valley win the ball? Can they turn it over in the Charlton defensive half and create something?
May shackled a bit more on that occasion. Fraser. McGrandles. Pygor stepped in and Pygor fouled him.
Pygor just has a little nibble for the ball here. McGrandles shows him enough. Not the best of touches, but he just lures that little tackle in there. Wins a set play in a dangerous position.
He scored the late equaliser at Pompey on Saturday, Conor McGrandles. Said afterwards that he needs to work on his celebrations because he looked a bit unsure about what to do. Fraser spotting it up. Freeman still trying to arrange his wall. In from Fraser, good ball, and over the top narrowly. Oh, I think it was Lucas Ness who got the touch on it.
Well, I thought it was heading for the back of the net, because normally any kind of glance there makes it very hard for Freeman. I think it may have just come off Parker. As he comes across there, looks like it just comes off Parker there. That was going in the back of the net. It's really good play from the Cray Valley centre forward. just tracked the run, and the glancing header just clips him and goes over the bar.
He scored at the wrong end in the first game, nearly got the opener tonight there, Lucas Ness. Fraser with a corner on this occasion. Ness up again and off the line by Williams. Pressure building from the League One side.
You can really tell the difference in the quality of Charlton's set plays.
Fraser starting to crank it up a bit now, Charlton. Asimwe, useful ball. Lee got something on it. Here's Adam Alui looking to just try and relieve the pressure, but he's coughed up possession straight away. When they came under pressure in the first game, you never felt that they were going to fold easily, and they have got that mentality running throughout the team.
They've got the spine back, haven't they? And I think you look at the first game, that was really missing. It's another set play. So Charlton head on it first. It's an area that Cray Valley coped with really well previously, but they're hanging on by a thread at the moment.
Right place, right time to keep it all square. Asadou's throw. Weigl, very talented player, Weigl, but didn't really manage to get stuck in like the other two central midfielders did in the first game, and yet to really make a mark on this one as well. Asimwe. Deflection helped out Ness. And the cross was Asadou to deal with it.
And Parker trapped the run all the way back into the box.
Lisby. Oh, he's looking for the one over the top there, but Black couldn't get to it quickly enough.
Just needed a bigger touch from Lisby, didn't it, into that space. He wanted to just knock it in there. As you feel, as a foot race, he'd have had the better of Dobson in that situation.
Here is Dobson. Ness. You mentioned whether they could keep up the energy and intensity. Just signs that they are starting to flag perhaps a little. Simway getting up and getting all over his man. Referee not buying the appeals for a free kick, though.
I mean, they did start really quick, Cray Valley, in terms of their pressure. But I think they also know that the longer this game goes, the more the pressure builds for Charlton. And then the tiredness kind of goes to one side. If you keep it at 0-0 and you're hanging in there, you know, physically you're capable of really pushing yourself, and the pressure just builds on Charlton to do something. I think that's the kind of scenario, that's the ideal scenario for the home team in this position.
Charlton have had some issues defending set pieces recently. They look vulnerable in the air against Portsmouth, but they've been a threat from dead balls themselves, although they've decided not to toss that one into the box. May. Lee should deal with that, and does at the expense of a throw. Asimwe. Ness. Ness. Looking for Leeburn, just a bit too much on it.
Yeah, it wasn't much, was it? Nearly the right range.
Well, Michael Appleton doesn't like having possession for possession's sake. He wants them to get the ball forwards quickly, front foot football without being route one. That certainly was direct, and so's that to find May. Cleverly done, Fraser. Ran into trouble. Back for Asimwe. Simway's clip ball in, Lieberman was waiting. Tumkaya there first, and Tumkaya looking for Parker, but it should be easy enough for Walker.
Well, the trouble with that ball over the top, when it's just Parker up top, he very much wants to hold the ball up with his back to goal. He's not going to pose much of a threat running the channel on a clearance. That's kind of Adamalui and Lisby you want in that kind of area as the outlet. They're under a lot of pressure at the moment, but they're defending well.
Dobson. Fraser. Dobson had his pocket picked by Black, now Vigor. Going the wrong way and then sending the ball out of play. It's a bit of a sticky period for the Millers at the moment. It was nip and tuck early on, but Charlton, as Matt was saying, just perhaps showing that quality from higher up the pyramid.
There's just no respite, is there? They can't find that outlet. Just that one ball into the front to hold it up.
May. Not this time. Simway. Just trying to be a bit too clever and then fouled Clemmer Seydoux as a result. Well, no goals so far in this one, but you can find all of them from this week's replays and indeed any FA Cup ties this season on the BBC Sport website and app. Our next live FA Cup tie on Friday the 1st of December as York City host the 2013 winners Wigan Athletic. And live football for you before then, WSL champions and current leaders Chelsea hosting Liverpool, who could go second on Saturday. That's BBC One at 1:15. Seydoux. Opens up for Weigl to have a go.
He's ambitious. Maybe better off just curling that one with his right foot into the box. Parker is right in the centre of the box. Any kind of ball in there, but opts to have a go at goal.
He scored against Cray Valley Paper Mills in the FA Trophy last season, the 19-year-old. May for a Simway. Stuck to his task well, the Seydoux. Fraser in a tight spot, has worked it out to a Simway. Not an ideal pass, Fraser's kept it in. Early from Dobson, Lieberman up against Lee. Oh, nicely done, May! Could go anywhere. And the Millers get away with it and get it up to Parker as well. Now, what have they got in the counter? Well, they've got a free kick because of a bit of a silly foul there by Teo Eden.
It's a couple of times now that Dobson's just played that little ball round the corner into the front. It was really clever. Anything into Lieberman to hold the ball up, and then he can set other players on the edge of the box. It was really close. That's the pass there. Nice back heel as well, knowing his teammates are in the box, and they just about deal with this, Cray Valley.
Black. Well, that might work out for Weigl, who was nearly in. Eden. First time they've been down at the Charlton end in quite a while. As I mentioned, they've had some problems defending aerial balls, so they attempted to toss this one in long. Adamalui. Williams. Managed to clear Lloyd Jones, but it's take two. Weigl, Black, and offside.
They're just coming back onside. Adam Malui a little bit late and stepping back in to have that ball. I think they'd be pretty pleased, surely. Well over half an hour gone and still goalless, and really trying to harass Charlton, make life difficult. And when they get the opportunity for a little breakaway, they might just take it.
Well, when he was asked what he learned from the first tie, he says he knows that the Millers have got pace out wide, they're comfortable defending with a low block, and his players will have to move the ball quicker, take fewer touches and look to switch it more. Not sure if you'd say if they've managed to do that so far.
I think the one that's doing it all the time is Dobson. He's playing one touch, it comes to him, he sees that into the front and he just bangs it round the corner. That's the kind of pass that's going to unlock, because you can't adjust your position quick enough for a one-touch pass. And I totally agree, moving the ball quickly and creating that space, that's what's going to unlock this Cray Valley defence.
Lucas Ness. Early for May, they wanted offside, they haven't got it. May is in and scores. Quality finish from Alfie May to put Charlton in front. He's had a few near misses, but he buried this one. The top scorer in League One this season has scored for Charlton in the FA Cup, and they have the lead against Cray Valley Paper Mills once again.
Well, what a great first touch from Alfie May. Looked like he had Velcro on the end of his boot here. The way he plucks this out of the sky. There's his run, bends it lovely. It looks just about onside, but this touch here is superb. Really difficult skill because the ball's dropping over his shoulder. He has a little glance at the goalkeeper to see where he is. This is a top-class finish, it really is. Brilliant first touch. Another little one, and then the dink over the keeper.
Well, yet another goal for him against the Millers. Scored 3 against them when he was on the books of Erith and Belvedere, who actually were beaten here by Cray Valley Paper Mills at the weekend. Apparently he only cost 250,000 from Cheltenham, which a few Cheltenham fans have described as daylight robbery.
I mean, that is a top-class finish. It really is. You're talking about a player in fine form, and he's showing it there. That is ultra confident, but high level, really high level finish.
The boot was on the other foot for him a few years ago when he actually gave Cheltenham a shock lead against Manchester City in a game that was live on the BBC. And Steve McKim actually said that he is one of the Charlton players who will certainly know what it's like at this level, so maybe the surroundings and the quality of the pitch wouldn't faze him.
Yeah, he hasn't looked bothered, has he, at all? Just got on with it, making those runs. He's made quite a lot from that right-hand side.
Lee gets his head to it. Vigor! Still not away. Black was in there, but couldn't get it out from underneath his feet. Chase on for Blackett-Taylor, but intercepted by Lee. May got his back to it. Fraser can't get there ahead of Williams. Adam Malui. Parker's done well. Here's Fraser. Quickly forwards from May, but it's going to be a throw to the Millers.
It just opened up for Vigor for a moment there, off the set play. Lee wins the ball. It's a good header, actually. I think he's just trying to cross that into that danger area. Could have maybe had an effort at goal there. Unselfish play from Vigor. Charlton just have the bodies in there.
May, not only top scorer in League One, he was named the division's player of the month as well. Parker. Thought there was a high boot in there, Charlton. It wasn't given. Aseidu. But there was plenty of praise that came Sonny Black's way and Hassan Ibrahim's as well for the way they played at the Valley, but that central midfield area has been a lot more taxing for them to try and get control of this time around. Having said that, there is a good challenge from Ibrahim.
It's going to be interesting to see if they come out a little bit now. Maybe just try and see it into half-time. But you expect the second half, if it does stay like this, that they'll maybe want to come out and really have a go at Charlton.
Well, McKim said that he didn't give them a rocket at half-time in the first game when they came out revved up just after the break. It was more a stressing of the need to believe in themselves and believe that they have the quality and the ability to ask some questions. A question asked there by Alfie May, who's disappointed that he didn't do better.
I mean, just to see that, let alone attempt it. He has a look at the keeper, it's falling out the sky, and such is the confidence. Thinks he can just loop that over Freeman. He has been lively in this first half.
It's now 9 goals in his last 8 starts for the club for Alfie May. And he's had the majority of those attempts for the Addicts. But they were 1 down at the break at the Valley and still managed to get back in the mix. Referee coming across for a word here. Michael Appleton receiving a talking to from Charles Breakspear. Towards Leeburn. Haven't seen too much of him so far. I guess Cray Valley will be content that they've managed to limit him, if not Alfie May, going forwards. Leeburn lays off here, though. Now McGrandles. May. Simway. Dobson. McGrandles did well in a tight space. Here's a Simway now. Lent on by Vigor. Back it goes to Walker.
They're trying to pressurise in that area of the pitch. They were probably having a bit more joy in the first game, but such as the quality, it's just gone up a little bit with the midfield area. They're not giving the ball away much in there at the moment, Charlton.
Here is the danger man, and Alfie May's dug in the cross nicely. Black's clearance wasn't ideal. McGrandles blasted up towards Parker. He won the header, but he had no one in green to nod it down to.
There's very much a lone figure high up the pitch at the moment, Parker.
Ness and McGrandles not quite on the same page there.
Well, I don't think I'm going to get tired of seeing this finish, to be honest. It's just brilliant. Awareness, touch, skill, ability to have a look at the goalkeeper while you're watching the ball over your shoulder under pressure. That is a super finish.
May, was he caught? Referee doesn't think so. Tunkaya. Lisby will chase this, and Lisby has got there, or was he fouled? Now then, Charles Breakspear has whistled. It's a yellow card, and it's a penalty kick. Well then.
We'll talk about turning this cup tie on its head. Clearly onside. Really good run from Lisby. Indecision, and that looks outside the box to me. But also, it has to be said, is it only a yellow card? Because it looks a goal-scoring opportunity as well. He clearly gets to the ball first and he kicks straight through him. I think he's lucky to stay on the pitch.
Well, I'm not saying that we're missing it, but if we did have VAR, you would have thought that it would probably be a free kick and a red card for him.
Yeah, where's VAR when you need it? It's probably not a penalty outside the box, but for me, it looks like a red card. So at least they've got the opportunity to have a penalty, and I think that's probably about right.
Their leading scorer, 15 goals in 19 games, Kyril Lisby, who put the cross in that led to their goal at the Valley, with a chance to score for Valley to make it 1-1 tonight. Lisby scores against Charlton, and it's all square. And are they writing another page in the script in this FA Cup adventure for Steve McKimm's men? Call as you like from Kyril Lisby, and we're level.
We'll talk about pressure on this young man's shoulders. He has dealt with that brilliantly, Kyril Lisby. There's a lot of focus on him in this game, but this is cool as you like. The little stutter just beforehand sends Walker the wrong way and just strokes it into the middle of the net. Really cool penalty.
Scored twice at the weekend against Erith and Belvedere here. A couple of very nicely taken goals, but this one will mean so much, as you can see there.
I mean, defensively, it's a horrible goal for Charlton to concede. It really is. At this level, that kind of ball over the top, can't create that kind of indecision between centre-backs and goalkeeper.
Lisby missed his kick there. Here's a Simway. We have 2 minutes of additional time at the end of this first half. McRandles. Dobson looking for a Simway. Seydoux. It's a throw for the home side.
The one thing I think you know for sure, Cray Valley are going to make Charlton work hard for this win. They really are putting up a fight.
And what a moment for Kyril Lisby. Lee gets up. Hacked away by Ibrahim. Collected by Eden. Dobson. A bit more of a spring in the step now after that goal, and the crowd feeding off it as well.
The goals have that effect, don't they? A little bit of adrenaline through the body.
Parker won the header, Vigor after it. Lee. Now Black. Here's Vigor. That's clever. Lisby's away. Oh, and now the flag goes up. Well, just for a minute. Just for a minute.
Yeah, it looked offside for me, but look at the headers, they're winning. Lee wins the first one, just there, look. Probably a yard, just about the right decision, but very close.
Well, if we got the lines out, you never know. Given up trying to guess those ones. He did look offside, but that will also aid their belief. It was David Harrison who had his flag up, and it's Cray Valley Paper Mills who have got their tails up at the break, courtesy of Kyril Lisby's coolly converted penalty after the error by Sam Walker. Earlier, Alfie May's wonderful finish rewarded Charlton's pressure, but Matt Upson, they have hung in there once again, and once again are level at 1-1 against Charlton.
Yeah, it's been another really entertaining FA Cup tie, hasn't it? Both teams going at it. I mean, Charlton had to work so hard to get that high-quality game, and then all of a sudden, Cray Valley back in it, so really looking forward to the second half.
Well, it's beautifully set up, Jason. Half-time, Cray Valley Paper Mills 1, Charlton Athletic 1.
Mark and Matt, thank you both very much indeed. We have a cup tie on our hands here, and if you're just tuning in to BBC Two, we've got a very proud dad here, Kevin Lisby. His boy has just scored a penalty. I mean, let's get straight into it. How are you feeling?
Yeah. I didn't watch it. Danny told me he scored, but yeah, listen, he made a good run, which I always tell him to do. So he's gone in behind the defence, he's stretched the defence, and he's just got in front of the keeper, and nice and brave as well. I think he's brave there because the keeper can hurt him, but he's put his body on the line there to ensure that he creates a chance and opportunity for his team to score, and fortunately he gets the penalty.
Yeah, we've got a great view of you, don't we, Dan?
Thank God we haven't got VAR, that's all I'm saying. Because it was probably just outside the box, but what a brilliant run and a brilliant pass. And he's given the penalty to the referee, and he tucked it away beautifully. So calm, really good pen.
Yeah. We were watching the live action here. However, Kev, you couldn't watch the live action. We were watching your screen, weren't you? I mean, he put it away beautifully.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that stutter's about. I've never been a fan of it. Never been a fan of it. He waits for the keeper to go down, and in an occasion like this to do that, it shows some guts, because I wouldn't have done that. So fair play to him.
Do you know what, Kev made a great point about the referee, and we were talking about. Well, let's just have a look at this here. Look. He's not looking.
Look at this. Go on, there he goes. What a celebration. Fantastic.
He made a great point about if he'd have given a free kick, he might have had to send him off, because obviously part of the punishment's a penalty and a yellow. I also think as well, and we noticed it from here, that as the referee came over, the goalkeeper backed off into his box. So by the time the referee got there, his position was 5 yards back. So maybe that was in his mind on giving the penalty as well, but thank God he did.
Yeah, it's a great spot. What a cup tie we got in our hands, Dan.
Well, it was come from nowhere. Yeah. I thought Charlton had done all right in the game and controlled it quite well. I mean, Cray Valley had defended reasonably well, but yeah, Charlton had got the goal. You could sense the relief in their play. They were keeping the ball, and then that wonderful pass to get Liz in and then get the pen has changed the game, spun it on its head, gives them confidence now, Kev.
And we've been talking about Alfie May. He's a real handful as well. He was disappointed not to start at the Valley. We had a little chat with him after we came off air in the first game as well. He's had a few chances tonight as well.
He's such a clever player. If you watch him live, as we did today, me and Dan were talking about his movement. We don't get to see it on the screen, but his movement off the ball, look at that touch. That takes him right into the area he wants to go. And it's a good strike. It's a good save, but obviously the pitch is a little bit heavy, but the first touch creates it. Look where he is now. He moves into that space just behind Cray, where he can't see him, and then when he's in the box, he's always calm. He's always calm, and he normally makes the right decision, but it's a good block there as well.
Is he one of these strikers, Dan, who's a bit of a handful and just finding those little pockets of space? A real nuisance for centre-backs.
It's just football intelligence, game intelligence. A clever little position. It's a nice position for him because he's away from having the fight with the centre-halves. And he's got that little pocket in between the left-back and the centre-halves, and finding these spaces with his opposite movement. You've just got to be a bit cuter when you defend against him, give yourself some space, because he keeps finding... This is the moment of the first half. That's a beautiful finish from a quality player.
It's a great touch, isn't that, Kevin?
Yeah, as I've spoken about his touch, and it always seems to take him into a position where he can create something. And if you look at it, he just takes one little one there, just to shove the keeper to his right, and then he plays it to his left. But it's a great finish, and from a great player. I've watched him a lot this season. He's a good player, really.
What about set pieces as well? Because Charlton are a real threat, aren't they, Danny?
Well, the couple they've had, they've caused real problem. And Kevin and I were talking about it. We think they should be. Yeah. And the reason, obviously, they've got good quality, but they can work on it day in, day out. They've got the time. You should be better at set plays when you're a professional, fully professional club working all the time.
Yeah,
that's a great save.
Took a little deflection there, didn't it?
Yeah. At first, I thought he headed it over, but if you look at it again, the keeper makes a great save here, and look at this clearance off the line there. The manager always tells you once you go back inside the post, and he's done his job really well there and saved his team conceding a goal there.
That's a dying art, like being on the post on corners. I used to do that job at Fulham and must have saved half a dozen goals. I don't see enough teams with players on the post anymore.
In terms of fitness, so often we see in these FA Cup matches, especially first and second rounds, is fitness going to be an issue for Cray Valley, Danny?
I think so, with the pitch being heavy. I mean, I don't know how much training they do, Kev, but they're obviously not going to be as fit as the Charlton lads. You'd expect, and you'd demand it if you were a Charlton manager, for them to now go up a gear or two and show that level of fitness.
I'll tell you what the manager did really well last game. He made substitutions at really good times. In 60 minutes, I think we made a sub, and then in 70, I think he brought on people that were fresh and had energy and were able to maintain that quality that they had beginning of the game. So hopefully substitution will make a big part in this game, I think.
Let's just take you inside the dressing room, and just very quickly, Danny, what will Steve McKim be saying here?
They don't look happy, do they?
Pardon?
They don't look happy.
Well, I think he'll be saying, believe in yourself a little bit more with the ball.
Yeah, they do look a bit tense, don't they?
Yeah, well, they've defended well, and they've got a nice shape. But when they've got the ball, they've lacked a bit of belief.
Yes, 100%.
They haven't quite that one bit of quality that got them in was a wonderful pass and a good run, and they've got to get a bit more support to the front man. and just have a bit more belief in themselves and try and get up the pitch a little bit, because it'd be a long second half if they did it the way they did in the first.
Yeah, I do want to say as well, the fans have been magnificent, haven't they? Just below us as well. They love the fact that your boy scored as well. They've been terrific. They're very noisy. They sense an upset, don't they? They sense an upset.
Well, one of them's been shouting he wanted Alan Shearer here, but what can you do?
Yeah, we have had one or two where's Gary type things, but that's okay. We give him a wave anyway. Good evening. Nice to see you. Anyway, there were lots of FA Cup action yesterday evening. Here's Patrick Geary with the best of the action.
A 3-3 draw in Yorkshire earned 7th tier Horsham the right to host Barnsley at their place, known to the locals as the Hornets' Nest. If you must visit a Hornets' Nest, you're best off getting the job done quickly. Nicky Cadden scored a reassuring opener in the 3rd minute. And before 10 minutes were up, John McAtee made it 2. McAtee is on loan from Premier League Luton Town, who will surely have been watching this goal with interest. A finish like the performance, expertly controlled. Barnsley safely through. These two League Two sides have experienced contrasting starts to the season. Things are going better for Accrington, as epitomised by Joe Pritchard's confident flick. Doncaster manager Grant McCann said it felt like that goal was scored in slow motion. His side eventually got up to speed, equalising through Zane Westbrook. Rovers now looked the better side, but the game went into extra time. Finally, in the 101st minute, they cut through decisively.
Rovers lead once more in this Seesaw Cup tie. Accrington 1, Doncaster Rovers 2.
Port Vale battled through the original tie between these sides with 10 men for more than 70 minutes. Now, with the luxury of 11, they enjoyed themselves. Burton keeper Max Crocombe could only deny them for so long before Gavin Massey found a way past him. His first goal since last Boxing Day. Vale's next scorer had been waiting still longer. Lewis Cass last scored more than 2 years ago. Tom Sang picked him out to end that dry run.
Is it Lewis Cass? Can you believe it? I'm in shock.
Derby salvaged this replay at Pride Park with 2 very late goals. Sometimes after relief comes belief. Come on, Derby! Particularly the way Derby started. Tom Barkhazen slipping them in front in just the 3rd minute. Rams fans didn't have long to enjoy that though. 4 minutes later, and that, believe it or not, was Aaron Rowe's first senior goal in 2.5 years. His next one took less than 15 minutes, and it brought with it proof that his luck really had improved. The deflection put Crewe in charge. Derby have not been knocked out at this stage for 39 years, but this was only heading one way.
And Crewe in dreamland at Derby. They lead by 3 goals to 1.
First challenge for Scarborough Athletic was getting to Gloucestershire in time for kick-off. Some of their team are teachers who only finished work at 3:15, and there would be no after-school special at Forest Green Rovers. From the moment Teddy Jenks put the League Two side ahead, they had control. Rovers were minutes from being knocked out up in North Yorkshire, but were soon running away with this. A quickly taken free kick ended up in Jamie Robson, making it 3-0 on the half-hour mark. It was soon 4. But 6th tier Scarborough would return to the seaside with memories and material for assemblies. Here's one of their teachers, Alex Wiles. 4-1, cue the away fans. That, though, would require Forest Green not scoring again. Always a bit of a long shot. Tyrese Omotoye added a 5th. Michael Coulson grabbed a late consolation for the departing Sea Dogs. If you thought that one had a lot of goals, Grimsby Town against Slough Town topped it. It all began fairly conventionally. League Two Grimsby went ahead through Rakeel Pike, then extended that lead. But National League South Slough proved excellent chasers. First Tyrese Dice, then David Ogbonna gave the Rebels, as they're known, a cause. Grimsby kicked on though. Pike restored the lead, then Arthur Ganua, Alex Hunt and Ganua again made it 6-2. Before Jamie Andrews headed in the 7th, and everyone at Blundell Park had earned a lie down. 2 former league teams with York a division higher, they started stronger. Chester didn't notice John Lewis, unusual at this time of year. Lennell John Lewis, his name is a shop York sing of their captain, who can hardly have expected the way the visitors gift-wrapped his second.
John Lewis going to roll in! 2-0 York City!
And despite George Glendon getting one back for Chester, there were no returns. Game of the night was competitive, but this was probably it. The score was 1-1 when Ephron Mason-Clark smashed League One Peterborough in front. Darren Ferguson's team are going well in League One and fashioned a classy third goal, scored by Archie Collins just before the break. But back came Salford City of the league below. After Curtis Tilt pulled one back, an own goal from Josh Knight got them level, 3-3, into extra time. And at the end of the first half of it, a superb goal from Stevie Mallon that looks set to be a famous goal for Salford. But into stoppage time at the end of extra time, they might once have called it Fergie time. Ferguson Junior's Peterborough scrambled an equaliser. Johnson Clark Harris the scorer, penalties. After Peterborough's 7th kick, they led 5-4. Conor McLennan had to score. Finn Talley won the tie. Peterborough face Doncaster next.
Beautiful London skyline, very chilly here tonight, but we have an FA Cup tie that is warming us right up. And 39 goals last night, excluding shootouts. You can see them all on the BBC Sport app and website. And this is the FA Cup second round draw. This is how it looks now. York City have reached round 2 for the first time in 13 years. They face Wigan Athletic under the Friday night lights. You can see that on BBC Two. Our Saturday lunchtime offering, Alfreton Town of the National League North against League Two Walsall. Other ties of note include Stockport County's trip to Aldershot on Sunday. Ramsgate, who play in the same division as Cray Valley Paper Mills, travel to AFC Wimbledon on the Monday night. That's how we are looking in the FA Cup. Big question is, will Cray Valley Paper Mills be there? Love the second round as well, Danny, because, you know, you're one big win away from the big boys turning up.
I've been there. It's so exciting when you're playing down in the lower leagues and you know that in that second round, if you get through, you could draw one of the big ones and play in a stadium you dreamt of playing in. You know, that's the magical moment of the FA Cup. I was fortunate, you know, I played at Premier League teams when I was at Crewe, and when the draw comes out, there's no better feeling. So the second round's huge for so many clubs.
Yeah, it'll be amazing, won't it, if Cray Valley make it through to the second round?
Yeah, against one of my old teams, Gillingham as well. So,
yeah, of course.
Not too far from here, another local derby, so... Yeah,
got a lot of old teams, haven't you?
What about this then, boys? Michael Appleton has sent out Charlton Athletic. Is that a little message there, Danny, or what?
I think it's just a rare, you know, I don't know, maybe they're a bit disappointed with that goal, so he wants to get them out and get them raring to go. I don't think there's too much in it. I expect them to start well this second. I think they want to get it done, but this is not going to be easy for them.
No, okay. Here come Cray Valley Paper Mills. Are we going to see one of the biggest upsets of all time?
This really is what the FA Cup is all about.
The next level, the next level.
Danger here. Smart save from Freeman. May is in and scores. Quality finish. And Lisby has got there, and was he fouled? Now then, Lisby scores, and it's all square.
Here we go then, second half about to get underway. Mark Scott and Matthew Upson have had their cups of tea and their digestives. Other biscuit brands are available. Back to you, boys.
And Matt's had most of them as well. A half-time change to tell you about then. Corey Blackett-Taylor, who is one of Charlton's big guns, is brought off. And Tyrese Campbell, who put in a very good performance as a substitute against Wigan Athletic in the league not too long ago, is his replacement. Surprised?
I don't think Blackett-Taylor had too much action in that first half, did he? And whether or not he just feels he was a bit ineffective, and he's brought on another player to see if they can inject a little bit more energy in those wide areas for Charlton, especially on the left-hand side.
Well, Cray Valley Paper Mills came out fired up at the start of the second half at the Valley. They were trailing at that stage. They're all square as we get the second 45 underway. And who knows, we might need even more than that. They scored 24 goals in their 8 qualifying matches to get to this stage. Scored at the Valley, found the net again tonight. Can they find another goal to right The most impressive chapter in terms of FA Cup upsets in the competition's history. Fraser. Weigell's there. Has to be tidied up by Black, who then left it behind. Campbell straight into it. Williams. Adam Alui. Williams almost came all the way through to Parker. Composure from Lloyd Jones. And then a shout of man on as McGrandles was crunched. May. Jones. Brought forwards by Ness. Asimwe. Lee readjusted well. Weigell misses out though. Edun. Looking for the give and go. Theo Edun. He was looking for that, wasn't he? And the referee wasn't buying it.
No, I think there's enough there to say that he's actually ran into the centre-back just there. Doesn't really encroach on him, Tumkaya. Just holds his ground, really, and the momentum of Eden just takes him into him. Still a decision for the referee to make.
Campbell. Eden. Cleared by Williams, up towards Parker, nicely into Weigell. But he's given it away. McGrandles. Ness. Well, we mentioned that Sam Walker didn't look totally assured in the first game. The crowd giving him a bit of jip there, and obviously it was his misjudgment that led to the penalty.
Yeah, didn't quite deal with it, wasn't too sure, was caught between. The ball just landed between the centre-backs and the goalkeeper. You just need one of them to be really decisive, but you have to credit the run from Lisby. Really did time it perfectly. Leeburn just wins that foul and can't afford to give too many of those away. Set plays were a problem for Cray Valley in that first half. The corners especially caused a lot of issues.
Fraser did score a beaut of a free kick that saw him nicknamed the Scottish Pirlo. He's not taken a shy at goal this time around. Dobson for Asimwe. McGrandles. Asimwe taken by Fraser. Asimwe's there again. And has got the ball in well. And Charlton are back in front. And wouldn't you just know it, we've seen Lisby score, and now we've seen Leeburn hit the back of the net as well.
Well, it's that Charlton right-hand side again, doing the damage. But just the presence of Leeburn in this box, that's all it needs for him to get his head on the end of this. Nice shimmy. It's a really good cross, actually, because it's just dinked. Asimwe takes the pace off the ball because he knows he puts any pace on it, it's going to go flying over the box, and he just dinks it into the middle. And there's Leeburn, that big towering figure, gets good contact on the ball. The body weight of the keeper, Freeman, is just going to his right-hand side. He can't adjust to get a solid hand to keep it out.
7 goals in 15 games for Miles Leeburn this season. He and Kyril Lisby have both attended a striker coaching school run by Kevin Lisby. Kevin might be wishing that he hadn't taught him how to power a header like that home. Williams. Campbell. Lee Byrne. Lee looked a bit unsure. Sam Walker gets it towards halfway. Bounce worked out for the Millers there. Ibrahim. Referee saw nothing wrong with that. Alfie May, bit of room here for Charlton to work with. They haven't had too much of that, and May streaming forwards. Alarm bells ringing here. It's Alfie May. Oh, brilliantly done. Wonderfully scored. It's Alfie May's day at the moment, and Charlton have breathing space now. It's another superb piece of work from their top man in front of goal this season, and maybe it's going to be a bridge too far for the Millers now. Cray Valley Paper Mills 1, Charlton Athletic 3.
Well, he's been a class act all night. He's been a notch above in terms of his quality. They turned the ball over fairly here, and then the space is there. Cray Valley are exposed, and that's one thing you don't want to be when this player's in this kind of form. I mean, the two recovering defenders needed just to hold their position here. They're not in a bad position. They just go beyond the ball as he gets his head up there. It's quite a tight angle to finish that. But it's all about Cray Valley coming out, and they just, Williams there, gets the wrong side of the goal line. He's got one last-ditched attempt to maybe just clear this off the line, but he just can't read it.
Well, he is a keen cricketer, Alfie May, and he's on a hat-trick now. Black. Vigor. Well, what's the game plan now?
Just thinking, is it put the cup upset to bed? I think it might have done. Not too sure if this kind of deficit is recoverable for Cray Valley. They're really going to have to come out, and it just leaves them so exposed in behind.
Told me that their usual routine was thrown a bit out of kilter before the game as well. They usually play Saturday and Tuesday and train on a Thursday. Needed to find somewhere to train on a Monday, and their usual place was booked up. Which is the reality of football at this level, I guess. Managed to sort something in the end, otherwise it was going to be a local goal centre. Campbell.
Well, I think the amount of games they play, their training probably is very much tactically based, or just kind of ticking over, really. I mean, the games come thick and fast for Cray Valley with all the cup competitions they're involved in.
They've only played 6 league games this season due to how well they've done in the cups. They're the only unbeaten side in the southeast division of the Isthmian League, 4 wins and 2 draws. They've got a match in the trophy coming up at the weekend as well. Although they harboured serious ambitions of getting a result this evening, the long-term effect of what they've done so far is going to be a big boost to the coffers, £75,000 over the course of the 2 matches, which will really aid the ground development as they focus on what is their primary aim of promotion, having just missed out in the playoffs last season. Simway. Done very well. It's another useful cross. Nobody in red attacking it this time, but Simway is getting his own way out there.
Yeah, the right-hand side really has been productive, hasn't it? Not just in the goals, but in terms of creating chances and opportunities to score as well. Seems to have all come from this side for Charlton.
It's funny because Steve McKim told me that bar the opening 15 minutes, he was happy with how it went at the Valley. That opening 15 minutes, his concern was Charlton were having far too much joy on that right-hand side, and early in the second half, that's been the problem.
Yeah, it has, for sure. Whether it be delivery or Alfie May. I mean, that's the main reason, isn't it? Alfie May in that position. He's intelligent. He just keeps coming towards the ball and then spinning in behind. And he does it so quickly.
Nearly did it again there.
I mean, it's such a great advantage that he's experienced football at this level. He's been through these rungs in the ladder to get up to the position where he is. Really holds you in good stead for these kind of fixtures.
May's there again, lost his footing this time, lost possession as a result. Fraser nudged out towards Simway. Dobson, May stretching, Leeburn couldn't bring it down either. Tumkaya. Fraser. Pinged forwards for Campbell to chase. Michael Adamalui. Vigor. Williams early towards Adamalui. Wasn't ideal from Dobson. I don't particularly think that Walker appreciated it either.
It was a tester, wouldn't it?
Dobson. Simway. Fraser.
You just sense a little bit more of a relaxed body language amongst the Charlton team. A bit calmer, less hurried, feeling they've got to chase it and probe and create something. They've got that nice 2-goal lead at the moment. They can relax and just stroke the ball about, and it really is all Cray Valley that have to make something happen in this cup tie to keep it alive.
Simway, who's been a real thorn in the side of the Millers backline since the break. Normally it's Theo Eden on the other side of defence who gets a lot of plaudits for the way that he manages to add to the attack. Here is Simway again, though. Good try! Wonderful goal! Delightful from Dobson to wrap up the cup tie, surely. The skipper delivers in style, and they can breathe a whole lot easier now, because Charlton have a 4-1 lead. And you'd argue that's the best of the lot.
Well, there's an argument for that. It's got to be some goal to beat Alfie May's first goal for me. I thought that was a superb finish, but this is right up there. I think Dobson even turned away in a little bit of disbelief that he stuck it in the top corner with his left foot. That's exactly what he does. Great angle here. Just see that fired into that far post. Freeman is not going to be able to get across to get a touch on that. It's got a little bit of dip on it as well. And it just loops away from the goalkeeper. It's a perfect strike for that position.
Not a bad way to celebrate your birthday. He turned 26 today. One of the players that they're so keen to keep hold of. He and Blackett-Taylor's contracts run out at the end of the season, and a couple of changes being made here by Steve McKim, but you feel that the horse is well and truly bolted now. Adamalui and Vigor for Anau and Gale, the switches. Williams. Aseidu got the cross in. Was it deflected? It will be a corner.
They've just got to keep their spirits high at the moment. Not let this game overcome them. They've put up a great fight. Cray Valley Paper Mills have, but got to try and lift themselves and see this game through. They've got half an hour to see out here.
A bit of a break here as Ibrahim receives some attention. He was talking about the experience at the Valley. He says that one of the things he noticed that the players couldn't hear the management screaming at them, but be a different case this evening. Everyone's well within earshot. Just made a couple of subs, and Hassan Ibrahim now might need to be withdrawn as well.
We've seen some really good quality finishes this evening. And this one right up there with his left foot, ball coming across his body, sees the opportunity and really does take it. I think he even surprised himself, to be honest, but brilliant finish from Dobson.
So Kiki Oshalaja, who was suspended for the first game, the centre-half, is going to come on. Younger brother of the Burton Albion captain, Deji Oshalaja, who spent 2 years at Charlton Athletic. He was very much in the frame to start the game at the Valley, but was suspended, as I say, for that one after picking up 4 bookings in the Cup, and is on now. So it'll be interesting to see the shape of the side with 3 out-and-out centre-halves now on the pitch. None of them could get on the end of the corner.
I think it was Jones with the powerful header away from that corner.
And they'll go again. Simway getting back there. Cluster of green to aim for. Lee left it. Parker's up there. Fisted away as far as Parker. Slightly behind Gale. Furthest he's gone as a manager in the FA Cup was the quarter-finals in 2013 when he was in charge of Blackburn, drawing 0-0 not too far from here at Millwall before they lost 1-0 in the replay. As a player, he made it through to the 5th round in 2000 with Preston North End. They lost 2-0 to Everton. Year before that, he had a late cameo in a 3rd round defeat to Arsenal. Came up against some really stellar names that the Gunners had in their ranks at that time. Petit, Vieira, Overmars.
It was a good team. He's had a good game, hasn't he? The Charlton right back. Asimwe up and down that right-hand side, plenty of energy. Crosses into the box. It's exactly what a cup tie like this needs, that kind of mentality. He's provided that tonight for Charlton.
Only 18 years of age, Asimwe, and made his debut in the EFL Trophy last season at the age of 17. And he's established himself as the first choice right back. I'm told that he's pretty comfortable at centre-half as well. And there's real pride amongst Charlton fans at both him and Miles Leaburn doing so well. They've got a tradition of producing talent through the academy. Asimwe. Jones. Campbell. McGrandles. Another thing Michael Appleton had to consider this evening was the fact that they don't have a league game at the weekend. The match against Northampton postponed due to the international call-ups that they've had, so didn't need to worry so much about rotation as he seemed to in the first tie.
Do you know, it'd be really interesting to see if they did have a game, whether or not he would have still gone with this team and what the importance would have been on this match. I still think it would have been a big importance, don't you, after the first game, and he couldn't take any risks.
No, and especially the way that he spoke about the disappointment with those that had and didn't take the opportunity in that tie. Said he was excited about tonight, and it was an opportunity to answer one or two questions, and those that have started have done just that. McGrandles. Thompson putting the heat on. It's also an important result for Michael Appleton generally. Appointed in September, he had a 7-game unbeaten run at the start of his time in charge, but there's only one win in his past 5 matches coming into this, and obviously they had been on the end of a massive upset. Wouldn't have made for pleasant reading. Gale off Jones for a corner.
He's defended well, Jones. Come into the team. He's cleared his lines well. Looks pretty dominant in the air. But a chance for Cray Valley just to test Charlton here. Put a delivery into the box, ask a question.
Both managers shuffling their pack as we hit the midway point in the second half. So Kyrell Lisby, one of those two, depart. Deep one. Lee going for it, wasn't able to get there. Chambers and Ekpiteta, the two to come on for Asedu and Lisby. And Teo Eden is withdrawn. Tenai Watson, who joined in September after he was let go by MK Dons, is on. Play either right or left of the back line, and he'll come in on the left-hand side for the remainder of this match. Gale towards Parker, couldn't make it stick, tidied up by Dobson. We can see why there's questions every week about whether the man on the ball here, George Dobson, has agreed an extension or not with his deal set to run out in the summer. That was a searching pass for Lee Byrne, and May was almost in.
Yeah, he's a calming presence, isn't he? Plays a nice one-touch pass as well, Dobson, when he has to. Sees that ball round the corner really early, especially around the opponent's penalty box.
Gale looking for the give and go, couldn't quite make it work. It's not a situation that the Cray Valley Paper Mills players or fans are used to. They're unbeaten this season when they played a full strength side. Just 2 defeats in 22 in all competitions, and those losses in the Kent Senior Cup and London County Cup when they played weekend 11s. Shalaja. Given away by Barney Williams. Campbell. But away from Tumkaya. Thompson was loitering. McGrandles. Here's Asimwe. Good positive stuff from Asimwe. And he's forced a corner, has he? It did just go out.
Oh, that's another good driving run to add to the list. There's been a few. I'm not surprised he's breathing a bit. He has put a shift in, really driven his team forwards.
Fraser gives the symbol. Dobson. Leeburn is in a good area again. Looked like there might have been a handball in there. It's shoveled clear anyway. Michael Appleton told his players to be as humble and respectful as possible, but also to be as ruthless as they could be. And that is the way it's gone.
You have to say they've certainly been ruthless when they've had the chance. A couple of quality pieces of finishing in and amongst the goals, but on the whole, when the chances have presented themselves, they've taken them, Charlton.
They're going to continue their good run of rarely being victims of a giant killing to non-league sides. Only lost 1 of their 21 FA Cup ties when they've played opposition from that level. 1-0 away at Northwich Victoria at this stage in 2009. And Gillingham away will be their reward in the second round of the Cup. So again, a pretty short journey for them. For the game, they were actually able to have their pre-match meal at their training ground at Sparrows Lane due to the proximity of the stadium to where they have their training sessions. McCrandles, Dobson. Angled that forwards nicely. And May looking for the hat-trick. The angle was tight, but that didn't faze him before. Dobson. Jones. Ekpiteta.
struggling to build any real momentum now. Energy's just been drained out of the game. Charlton with a real stranglehold on it.
Well, they'll obviously be disappointed with the way tonight has gone, but promotion does remain their main target. They finished just a point outside the playoffs last season. Currently 3 off the playoffs at the moment with 3 games in hand. Alfie May gets the free kick. It's going to be a yellow card as well for Barney Williams, the first caution of the game.
I mean, it's been a competitive game, but really well fought. That's indicated with the first booking at this stage, and there's not too much in that, to be honest. Just Williams recovering, but I'd have put money on him getting the booking. The way he tackles, he's so committed, really does put his body on the line for his team and defend really well at times.
In from Fraser. Laid off nicely, and there is another. Tyrese Campbell gets in on the act, and Charlton hit 5. And after the disappointment of the way they performed at the Valley, they have shown their class this evening to book their place in the second round of the FA Cup and deny Cray Valley Paper Mills a fairy tale storyline.
We spoke early on about the energy that gets spent in the first 15-20 minutes of the game with the press that Cray Valley had and the energy they put into the game, and it's just starting to dwindle. Set piece goes in, they just don't get out to the ball quick enough, not enough snap into that tackle on the edge of the box, and is stroked home by Campbell with his right foot. It's a good finish, actually. He just controls it, places it in the bottom corner.
Third of the season for Tyrese Tupac Shakur Campbell, to give him his full name. Another that's come through the Charlton Academy.
Are you a
Any
Tupac
interesting
fan?
middle names, or?
Are you a Tupac fan or not?
Not my cup of tea.
No?
Away by Lee. Parker. Here's Dobson. Campbell. Campbell. Well, a job well done for Michael Appleton in the end. Still has a lot of credit in the bank from the way that the side have started. Still a work in progress, though. Their main problem is keeping goals out. That was evident against Portsmouth at the weekend.
Cup runs are important, though. Really important. They can build momentum, build confidence, and going deep in the FA Cup.
And Alfie May for the hat-trick, no. He's also hinted that he wants to be busy in the January transfer window, Michael Appleton, which might be a bit of a coded message to players that they need to impress. He inherited Dean Holden's squad, so he didn't have a window in the summer to bring in players that he necessarily wanted. Pretty large squad, so some you think would perhaps be on their way in January. And like Cray Valley Paper Mills, promotion is the ultimate aim for Charlton. That draw against Portsmouth left them 5 points off the playoff places. Jones for Dobson. I know you said that they would have taken the penalty conceded by Sam Freeman and by Sam Walker rather, and the yellow card that came his way, but you do wonder if the keeper had been sent off, how the game might have panned out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it probably would have had better long-term benefits in the game for Cray Valley had that decision been arrived at, but getting back level pegging before half-time and raising that feeling, I'm actually surprised how comfortable Charlton have come out in the second half and been able to really kill this game off. I felt it had real momentum at half-time, and for whatever reason, Cray Valley just haven't been able to come out and capitalise on that. Well, here's the goal from Leeburn now departing the pitch. Big man, big header. That really did seal the deal.
McGrandles is also heading off here. So Mike Mbik is on, one of the youngsters in this squad. And no hat-trick for Alfie May this evening. We'll have to settle for just the 2 fabulous goals.
And replacing number 9, Alfie May, is number 27, Chem Campbell.
Chem Campbell had a pretty good game in that first instalment between Charlton and Cray Valley Paper Mills. He was lively out that right-hand side, one of the few bright sparks in that match for them. Dobson. Jones. Campbell. He said that tonight was a chance to answer a few questions, Michael Appleton. Yes, you could say that they have done that and been ruthless as he urged them to be. Simway.
One of the biggest surprises for me is as this game's gone on, you haven't managed to crowbar any more paper jokes into your commentary.
Well, if they were on course for an upset, the obvious one would be that it's being played at the Theatre of Reims, but didn't quite get to that.
Oh, it's a shame.
Campbell looking for it. Not been fully dealt with, and at the moment they look like they are running on fumes a bit here. Lee gets it away, and Steve McKim won't want to suffer another heavy defeat at this stage of the competition. His only other experience of reaching the first round as a manager when his Tonbridge Angels side were thrashed 7-0 at home by League Two Bradford City 3 years ago. Desperate to avoid being shredded again. Handy ball, and there almost was another, and there actually is another, and it is 6. And what a moment for the youngster, Micah Mpick, to come on and score within minutes of his introduction.
That's a brilliant run in behind. Really good run. It's another long ball over the top. We have seen a lot of this tonight. It's not been a night for particularly little passes or 1-2s on the floor. A lot of this kind of range of passing. Deep run from midfield. Freeman with the save, Fraser with the initial run. And then the follow-up with Mbic. Great moment, isn't it? Coming off the bench, young player, put one in the back of the net, even though it is stroked home easily. It's a nice moment for the youngster.
His senior debut, turned 17 last Wednesday. Got one in the under-21s victory against Ipswich a week ago, and now has one in the FA Cup.
It was right place, right time, followed him really well.
Wide by Ekpiteta. Well, they were all square at half-time. What changed?
That's a good question. I think the fitness, the energy, they just couldn't muster up that push again. I think they'd obviously finished on a big high with the penalty, and then the chance that was just offside, wasn't it? That was a tight call. And you think going to at half-time buoyant, whereas you look at the previous game, kind of lifted them at half-time. They were hanging on a little bit, but they just couldn't come out and recreate that kind of feeling. And that early goal just really did take the wind out of their sails, Cray Valley. From then on, it's been a really professional job from Charlton. Very dominant, very controlling. They've moved the ball nicely.
Hook forwards again, and again it was another positive run from Mbic. We can see all of these goals and all the rest of them from this week's replays and any FA Cup goal this season on the BBC Sport website and app. We've got more live FA Cup for you on the 1st of December as York hosts the 2013 winners Wigan in the second round, and live football for you before then in the WSL. The champions and current leaders Chelsea play Liverpool on Saturday afternoon. BBC One at 1:15 for that. Sam Walker be relieved that they have cruised to victory after his indiscretion led to that penalty and Lisby's leveller. Nicely done. It's opened up for him a bit here as well, Kedwell. Lee gets a boot to it. Parker won that well, but Gale was just caught in his heels somewhat. Back by Watson.
We're looking for that ball again. It has been a favourite for both teams, actually, just to try and dink it over the top or into the channel for a runner from deep.
Watson. Gale running down a bit of a blind alley. Dobson lifted towards Campbell.
Yeah, my player of the match this evening. It's been a cut above for me. Real quality. Certainly in the first goal. Top finish from him. He is my player of the match. I think he's had an outstanding evening.
A cut above.
A cut above the rest. Not a paper cut.
He said that with a straight face as well. Dobson goes back to Sam Walker. It'd be Gillingham away then for Charlton in the second round. And just memories after this for the Millers, but what memories they have. Moment at the Valley, the celebrations at full time in that game. It was their cup final in the words of their manager. And they've always said promotion is the main aim, and the cup run, as well as those cherished moments, will also bring the much needed hard cash that can help fund the ground improvements. All of the money that they've earned will go straight into that area. Campbell. Blasted towards Parker. Pateta smashes that one away. Their average gate here is just 150, over 10 times that number in here this evening. 1,550 the capacity that was afforded, eclipsing their previous record of just over 1,200 in the FA Vars semi-final against Canterbury City in 2019. The hope is that they might be able to attract the attention of more football fans in the local area to come down and see them in action. Jones. Offside. It's all just got a bit stationary now. Lee. Parker. Taken off him. That'll be a corner. And a chance maybe to grab a late consolation. Oh, the referee's been a bit of a fun sponge there and decided that there'll be no more time to play. And time is called on Cray Valley Paper Mills FA Cup adventure. Michael Appleton's men were given a real go in the first half by the Millers, but the class of Alfie May and co told in the end. Some super goals from him, and Leeburn for Charlton on the score sheet as well. Dobson scored a delightful strike, and there was also the moment for Mbik the youngster as well, his first ever senior goal. And in the end, they have progressed. No more pages written by the Millers in their FA Cup story, but Steve McKim and co can be mightily proud of their efforts. Full time then, Cray Valley Paper Mills 1, Charlton Athletic 6.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Mark. So they started on the 19th of August, the preliminary round of qualifying. This is their 10th tie in the season's competition. Cray Valley scored in every single one, total of 26 goals. Their domestic cup exploits have not ended yet. They play Hampton and Richmond Borough at home in the FA Trophy second round on Saturday. We wish them the very best, and what a journey it's been, Danny.
Incredible. They deserve so much applause for what they've done. They're getting it there, and to take Charlton to a replay was phenomenal. They've been in this tournament for what, since August, we were saying. It's absolutely tremendous. Great for the club financially. Some of the players have had a chance to have a wider audience, see their talents, and they'll remember this for a long, long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fans really appreciate their efforts as well, Kevin.
Yeah, listen, I think they've put everything into this. I think, as I say, the game at the Valley was really special for everyone there, all the family and friends and the Cray supporters. So, yeah, the players, they owe a lot to the fans because they've turned out 2 games now and quite close together, and they've given good support.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm delighted to say that Alfie May is going to join us
played, mate. Well
live
played.
here on Match of the Day. Good to see you, Alfie. We saw you at the Valley in the first game as well, of course, and you were disappointed, of course, not to be playing that as well. But you showed your class tonight, didn't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think we was very professional tonight. We, for me as well, knowing sort of the background that I've come from, knowing what the pitch was like, and it was a little bit different to the Valley, but we come here to do a job and get out of here and get into the next round, and that was the important thing to do.
And what did the gaffer say to you before you ran out onto this pitch tonight?
Yeah, he could
live telly.
I don't think I can, because no, he just said, listen, we've got a job to do. We put ourselves in this situation, and it's down to us to get out of it. And listen, Cray's give us a great run. It's been really enjoyable, and credit to them.
1-1 at half time. Cup tie in the balance. So what did Michael say to you at half time? Can you tell us that?
He just said, stay calm. There's a lot of minutes, and he just said, listen, we've been really good the first half. The ball, I think, looks outside the box when Sammy gives the penny away, but it's the FA Cup, isn't it? Anything can happen, and like I say, credit goes to Cray, and we had to stay professional.
We got your 2 goals.
Oh yeah, we're going to look at it too. Sorry, yeah.
That's okay. Here we go.
First one's a beautiful goal, isn't it? With the movement you've got, you're just relying on the balls then, aren't you?
That's
just
it,
relying on the passes.
I say it quite a lot. I'm a player that I want to be facing a goal.
Yeah.
I want defenders facing their own goal as well, and I actually, it's crazy that this finish I'd done in training yesterday, and it's come off today. It just shows you, look like the practice you do in training can help on match.
Settled everyone down as well, didn't it? And then, of course, in the second half, you get this. I don't know how you get it in from the angle you do, but it's nice composure again.
Yeah, it's this one, you know, the one that you don't hit sweet, it gradually goes in.
Yeah.
And what's the dream in terms of if you can get through the next round? Because when you're playing down there, you want that third round draw against one of the big boys. Who would the dream be?
Yeah, so obviously, a couple of years ago, I had Man City. And that was.
You don't want them.
So no, but for me, I'm a Liverpool fan.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
So Anfield.
So I really, Anfield would.
Yeah, that'd be the one.
It would be amazing. Yeah.
But Gillingham to go, tough game to come.
It is, yeah, and like a local derby. But it's like I say, it's another game. We go there and try and get through to the next round. It's important.
Also, you could go on a bit of a run, can't you? Because we see this, don't we? Teams who get through tough opening rounds in the FA Cup, bit battle hardened, you can go on a bit of a run.
Yeah, and that's what we want. We want to, even in the league, we want to go on runs. We went on a nice little run in the league, and it sort of put us back up there. And we just got to keep going as a group. And we're pretty young, so it's all about sticking together. And each game we take it game by game and ticking them off.
And Kev, we were praising Alfie for his movement as well, weren't we?
Yeah, I could see what he was doing at times. You're drawing him out to go into the spaces, and me and Danny were speaking. They didn't quite get what he was doing at the moment. I know lower leagues, and you're sort of going into spaces, and they come in to fill those spaces, and then you spending behind a lot. But just in general, I've watched you over the season, Charlton, a lot. Second half of games, you seem to turn up a lot more in the second half of games than you do the first half. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think for me, like I feel really fit this year.
Yeah.
And I know that, like we all know, football can be a tough game running around and that, but I love just running. So I try and get it into my head that they're going to be tired in the second half.
Definitely.
I need that second wind. So I need to step it up. If I'm at 90%, I want to go to 100%, and I just want to keep running around and chasing balls down and scoring goals. Best feeling ever.
Alfie, top scorer in League One. Set a target for this season? How many?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I want another 20 plus. I know people will probably look at that I'm on 12 now, but sort of that'll be my next target to go for and see where I end up. Like I said, I just love scoring goals. It's a great feeling.
As you may know or may not know, I present Final Score, and I said to the boys on the video printer on a Saturday afternoon, constantly say your name. Alfie May scored again. Kev, Alfie's the player of the match. Do you want to do the honours?
Yeah, of course. Well done, mate.
Good man.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well done, Alfie. Top man. Thank you very much. Good luck for the rest of the season. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Top man. Well played. And 2 goals in 2 minutes effectively killed the tie, didn't it, Danny?
It did, and it took the wind out of the lads, didn't it? It's hard when you play against that quality for 90 minutes. But let's give them some credit. We said before, didn't we? 3/4 of 2 games, they've matched them.
Yeah.
And that little bit of quality in the final third that Kev was talking about in that second half, it killed them off.
And let's take a look at it because we've got it here. And just after half-time, this is exactly what Charlton Athletic wanted, isn't it, Kev?
Yeah, just runners now. It's a bit struggling with runners, and it's difficult. These boys have played a lot of minutes now, and these boys are fit, and every run they make behind, you've got to track it, and you lose one of them at any point, and then they can deliver crosses like that, and it's a good header, and unfortunately, the keeper never saved it.
You've worked with Miles as well. How high can he go, Kev?
Yeah, he can go as high as you want. It's all about mentality. I thought the boys done well against him today, funny enough.
We were saying, weren't we, he'd been quiet, and then he popped up with the goal, and that's what all good strikers do.
Yeah, about 30 seconds after. Maybe.
And also, how calm is Alfie here as well, though, Danny, as well? Because we were saying, wonder if he's going to dink it here.
I actually thought he was too calm because they got back. And I thought he could have cleared it, but that's the way he plays. He always seems relaxed. He's always got time on the ball. That's why he's top goal scorer in League One. He's a confident young lad, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let's show you some pictures of the Cray Valley dressing room. They've really done their club proud, and the fans proud as well, in this part of London as well. It's been an incredible journey. Delighted to say that Carell and Steve have joined us as well. And you must be so proud, Steve.
Yeah, ever so proud of them. Just looking back on it, and I'll be critical to start with. We told them to turn them for 10, 15 minutes in the second half, and we started trying to play out. And if I can be critical, I can, because I want them to learn from it. And that's what hurt us. And they were honest. Listen, they made some changes and they played some top players tonight, and they taught us a lesson. Or not taught us a lesson, they taught my players, if they aspire to be professional footballers, they've got to get to that level. And I thought Charlton was superb, took their chances, but you saw the fitness. Like my lads were working today. All my lads were working. I don't look for excuses, but last 15, 20 minutes, you could tell the full-time side just overrun us, and third-man runs, we couldn't keep up with them, and lucky it weren't more, to be honest with you.
And Charlton were out very quickly as well after the break as well. So do you think that's what it was, ultimately, fitness?
No, because I think you look at when we went to the Valley, who started the best then? First 15, 20 minutes, it was us. I just felt we made fundamental errors early doors in the second half that cost us. Take nothing away from Charlton. Michael Appleton listened to his interview in the week and he said he was going to be ruthless. They were tonight. But I couldn't be more prouder than this group of players I've got. We've had a great run. We've earned this club so much money. Hopefully they can now get stuff done to the ground. And we focus now on the FA Trophy and the league.
And I know you don't want to pick anyone out, but seeing as we've got this young man up here on the balcony and his very proud dad as well, live with us on Match of the Day, I mean, what an FA Cup run this boy's had.
Yeah, he has. Like I said all the time, he's part of a big wheel that we've got. He adds loads to us. At 19, we could, and I'll be horrible again maybe, I told him at half-time, our left side, their right side, were getting hurt. But they're 2 young lads that are learning their trade. And if they can take on board the information we give them, there's a big future for them 2 boys, 100%.
Carell, great to see you. Thank you for joining us live on television this evening. What was it like then when you got that penalty? I mean, you were the coolest man in this stadium.
Yeah, I think obviously to get in, first of all, and nick it past the keeper was a bit of a shock to me here. And I think just to step up, my dad always wants me to be brave. He wants me to take penalties, and I think I've learned that from him anyways, and obviously like you see a little touch from the keeper, lucky to escape a red there, but yeah, keeper's kicked to me and I thought, you know what, it's Charlton, it's my dad's old team, why not step up to the penalty and take it.
Okay, and then here you are, tucking it away beautifully, and on the end of this now you'll see your dad watching it on the platform here.
Yeah, I want to see that.
At the ground. Danny and I were watching it live. Yeah. We never in doubt for us, right?
Yeah.
But your dad, have a look at this now. There's a lovely moment, yeah. Here it comes.
Oh, he didn't.
Hey!
That's the first time he's ever seen me celebrate any of these goals.
Yeah,
and probably last as
And
well.
that very much is the magic of the cup. But, you know, Kevin, anything you want to say to your boy here tonight?
Listen, he knows the journey. He's not had a typical journey into this, obviously into football. He's not been in the system. He was in and out of the system. He's had to work hard with me. I know we've done some hill runs. We've done a lot of training, and at times he was fed up with me. But we had a plan of what we wanted to do, and I think Cray is a massive part of it at the moment. He's learning so much. He's developing. He's becoming himself. He's becoming who I think he should be, and I'm just enjoying watching him play at the moment.
Yeah,
That's
well
it.
done you. What's the dream, Cara?
Yeah, I think obviously I was at Watford and it was disappointing to get released, but just to bounce back and get back to where I was and follow my dad's footsteps, really. That's the dream, and I think I'm taking it slowly. Obviously in the non-league route system, I twin at Brentford at the moment, so just day by day improving, develop here at Cray Valley, learn, you know, senior football and yeah, onwards and upwards.
Did your dad teach you that dance?
No chance. No chance.
It's a great celebration.
That's what we'll be talking about later, that dance. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. We're not going to be in that car journey. And Steve, let's just talk about what it means for the football club as well, because this is a journey that started on the 19th of August of this season.
Yeah, well, I can't remember, 10, 11 games we've played in it, and I think we were the top scorers in the competition. I don't know if we still are. It's massive for this football club. You know, if we could have had a crystal ball and said we're going to get the first round, go to the Valley in front of 6,500 and get a draw, bring them back here and get even more revenue for the club, they would have bitten our hand off. And like I say, it's just unbelievable what this can do to this football club in terms of regenerating the ground to get stuff that we need to get promotion. The other side of it as well, I've just got to mention that the people that here today that have sorted all this out, you know, the board members, the volunteers, they had 10 days to sort all this out, and I think they've done a great job.
Well, I was going to say that on behalf of the BBC, we want to say a big thank you to the club as well on live television, because they've been brilliant to us in looking after us today. So you should be very proud of the football club as well, Cara.
Yeah, no, like you said, there's a lot that goes on, especially Cray Valley. It's not the biggest of stadiums, but there's a lot of people that made this day possible. So like Steve said, it's a massive thank you to them.
Yeah, also, having a little chat with them as well, Steve, as well, some of the fans here. They've come from other clubs as well, haven't they? Clubs from around here. Bumped into a couple of Millwall fans. They said they were coming to support Cray Valley tonight.
Well, we need to try and get as many as we can back through the gate. You know, we get 120 to 150. If we can get 200, 250, that's going to help us even more towards the end of the season. And I believe that at the level we're playing at, listen, we played levels above today. The team were unbelievable. Michael, he must have said a few things to them, but the players have got standards, and they must have realised that they didn't do themselves justice at their place, and they come out, and listen, that was a proper performance from them, and it hurt us, and it will hurt us. But what I've got to do and what the players have got to do is realise who we played against, the level we played against, and we've got a massive game in the FA Trophy against Hampton, and our season has only just started. We've got a big league campaign, we've got a nice FA Trophy run, hopefully we can do, so the future's bright for this football club.
It's been amazing following you. Thank you, boys. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Say thank you to the club and the players as well.
Will do.
Top man. Thank you very much indeed. Good luck for the rest of the season, lads. So as the boys leave us as well, Danny, we've just got time to look back at some of the other big moments from this game as well. And what a fantastic finish from Dobson as well.
Yeah, it was. They were enjoying themselves at this point, playing really well, nice and confident, knocking the ball around. It's a super strike. Dobson was quality in the middle of the pitch, dictating plays. It's one of those, comes off your foot, you know. And the game was done by then, so they were enjoying themselves.
It's a great strike, isn't it, Kev?
Yeah, he cut across it lovely and in the top-hand corner. At first, I thought it went through the keeper. When you see the replay, it's right in the top-hand corner.
26th birthday as well today.
Yeah, it's a good birthday present.
Yeah, nice.
I'll take that.
Very nice.
To be 26 again.
No thanks.
And to see it on live television as well. Michael Appleton is alongside us. Michael, good evening to you. Welcome to Match of the Day Live. You must be very proud of your boys.
Yeah, obviously delighted. Obviously, there was a lot said about the team selection in the first game. Yeah. Look, you know, the reality is I found out a lot about some of the young players in that first game and how they deal with that type of pressure, that type of anxiety. We were fortunate in the sense of we got an opportunity to try and put that right. Opportunities for some of the senior players to come and play today, and from a professional point of view, an attitude and the way they went about it, I thought it was top draw.
Were you stung by that criticism of making 11 changes? Were the players stung?
I think it'd be hard to say no to a degree, but I've been around long enough to know that because we got that second opportunity, I knew we'd come here and put in a performance similar to what we have done. Sometimes it can be a good thing, though. I think sometimes you need criticism, you need people digging you out, because it gets you a little thinking, did I do the right thing? But I think ultimately what I have done is I know where I am with a lot of my group. I'm finding out about them all the time. I've only been in the club 2 or 3 months, and obviously you need good things, you need bad things, and ultimately as a manager then you get the opportunity to try and pick the right side.
Was it also a blessing as well, because you've had this game? I know you can't play the weekend because you've got internationals, haven't you, away? So you've actually had another game to keep the lads ticking over and keep working on things.
Absolutely, and to be fair, we've got a game in the EFL Trophy next Tuesday as well. So obviously in the build-up to the next league game, which is Carlisle away, for me, I said to the boys before the game, and I've always been a believer in this, the harder you work, the more you enjoy it. And it's true. If you work hard, you start enjoying the game, and you start taking less touches of the ball, you start being more aggressive, being on the front foot, and I thought, to be fair, we did that tonight. Yeah.
I've watched a couple of games now, obviously I do the Charlton TV, and it seems like second half, the boys seem to have a little bit more energy, resilience second half than they did last season. Would you agree with that?
Do you mean generally in most games, or
no? Just most games, every game, games I've watched, and particularly today as well.
Look, it's one of them, and it's easy for me to say yeah, absolutely, of course it is, and get pats on the back. I think what they have done is they've shown a great attitude in training. The intensity of the training has been spot on. We know that we've got some young players, some good young players. One of the easiest things to do in football as a young player is run. Yeah. And I just felt that sort of before coming in, a lot of the stuff was in front of teams, and I wanted players running without the ball. I watch a lot of young players who are gifted, can deal with the ball, but they're not prepared to run. And that was one of the things that I said was an absolute prerequisite. I can't even say it.
Prerequisite.
But yeah, exactly. Well, cheers,
but it's right, though. I think it's a great point.
Absolutely.
You see a lot of players all the time like this.
Yeah.
But also, Michael, you're experienced. We've seen many upsets. You arrive at the ground tonight and you're thinking, this could happen tonight, but it was all over as soon as you started that second half. What did you say to them at half-time? Did you say, just get out there and finish this cup tie off?
Yeah, do you know what? I was actually reasonably happy with the first half. Like I say, I thought their attitude was spot on. I thought the way they went about the business was good. They took, 2 or 3 touches. We worked the overloads in the wide areas. We got the 8 runs in. There was a lot to be admired from what we did. We just didn't get that much little bit of luck, little break in front of goal. And I knew the longer the game would go on, the gaps would be a little bit bigger. We would have a little bit more sort of athleticism and fitness than they would. And as long as we kept the quality, obviously, I expected us to win.
Okay, stay with us if you can, because just going to show you the second round draw as well, because this is how it looks after Charlton's win this evening. They make the short trip to Gillingham in the next round. That game played on Saturday, the 2nd of December. And on the Sunday, National League leaders Chesterfield take on League One Leyton Orient, and on Monday night Ramsgate into the second round for the first time ever travel to AFC Wimbledon. Some good ties there. I was just saying to Alfie May, Michael as well, that we were just chatting about some teams, they have a difficult couple of opening rounds in the FA Cup and then they go deep. You could do that.
Yeah, and do you know what? I've been quite fortunate. This cup competition's been really good for me as a manager, as a so-called sort of lower league team. When we were League Two with Oxford, we beat Swansea in the Premier League in the 3rd round. I think while I was there, we beat 8 or 9 Championship and Premier League sides along the way in cup runs. So I've had a good couple of runs, 5th round, Murphy no quarter-final with Blackburn. It's been good to me, and I say to the lads all the time, listen, the longer you can stay in cup competitions, you get a better opportunity of rotating your squad and using your players.
Good man, Mike. Really good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Kevin, great to see you. Really enjoyed the FA Cup run. Danny, I'll see you in the studio very soon. Thank you all very much indeed. So well done to Charlton Athletic and Cray Valley. You've done your club proud. From all of us here, bye for now.
116 places separate the sides in the football pyramid. This is what the FA Cup is all about. May is in, quality finish, and Lisby has got there and wasn't he fouled? Now then, Lisby scores against Charlton. Got the ball in well, and Charlton are back in front. It's Alfie May, wonderfully scored. Good try, wonderful goal. And time is called on Cray Valley Paper Mills FA Cup adventure.